Hi guys, welcome to Twin Peaks, Twin Perspective. I'm Joe.
I'm James.
And tonight we're going to be bringing you thoughts we thought you didn't think of. Oh, and that's chosen. Thoughts we thought you didn't think of. Part 13 of Twin Peaks: The Return.
Twin Peaks.
What story is that, Charlie?
Everybody's asking that question now.
Mm-hmm. We're stuck on that question. It's like a sick, repetitive loop.
Like that damn laying on the horn.
Okay, so full spoilers on everything Twin Peaks. And we're going to give you some good content.
Yes. Excuse our green screens. It's stuck on cheap, shitty apartment setting.
We keep trying to change it and nothing happens. We have poor video and audio quality, but we have good content. And tonight for thoughts we thought you didn't think of, I don't know what that is.
Dinosaur.
Full credit to the community. Everybody's been talking. We pick up on some things that we want to mention, and then we talk about some stuff that we talk about that nobody else mentions. But full credit to the community. And the biggest thing I think coming out of this last part is everyone realizes for sure now that we're in some weird time discrepancy. Stuff is being presented to us out of sync.
A couple 80-year-olds in the editing room going, just put that there. The first time we noticed it was episode 9. This is the chair.
Mm-hmm.
We first get our 2 days from October 1st.
Right. Frank says very clearly, October 1st, that's in 2 days. So we're all excited. We're going to go to Jackrabbit's Palace, and then we're going to go 253 yards east, and
2 days.
in 2 days. And since the American Girls Watch said Saturday the 1st, I've always assumed that September 29th, this day that we're on episode 9, September 29th is a Thursday. That's what I'm thinking. 2 days from now.
In episode 11, there's fire where you are going. We are told that it's 2 more days till we go.
Yep.
When we're looking at the map with Hawk and Frank.
Hawk and Frank, and Hawk says, this is where we're going to go 2 days from now, or the day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow, which is
Frank said 2 days from now, and then Hawk said day after tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, Bobby curiously wasn't there. They had gotten everything from Major Briggs, and then Bobby wasn't there in that scene with the map. But what also happened in episode 11 is Bobby has to handle some shooting at the Double R.
And his dog had to handle his daughter.
And all that, right. So,
we just assumed it was the same night.
right. And everything else that they showed us in Twin Peaks just happened on a different day. It was either before this night or after this night, but we realized really by episode 9, because episode 10 was when everything went wacky in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for a month.
Episode 10 was when Janie E.
takes Dougie to the doctor, and that night was the same night from episode 7 of that day. I'm sorry. Episode 7 concludes, and then when you jump to episode 9, it's still the same day. She's waiting with the cops, and then she's going to take Dougie to the doctor's office. So she takes Dougie to the doctor's office, and then they have their romantic evening. And then we start the next day.
She sends him to work the next day, kissing him on him and stuff, and send him to work.
Send him to work. Later on, when we go to Las Vegas, we're on our second night with the Mitchum brothers.
It was after midnight, and Anthony Sinclair met up with the Mitchums that night.
Right.
You have an enemy in Dougie Jones.
So,
and at that point, we're looking at each other like, wait a minute. Mullins was supposed to talk to Dougie, and stuff was supposed to go down at work, and we skipped that whole day?
Yeah, there's no way that Dougie went to work that morning, got sent off by Janie E., and then we're seeing midnight, which means after the nighttime. What happened at Lucky 7?
Now we're kind of. This is when we figured
in
out
episode 10.
it's not just Twin Peaks either.
Yeah,
But
they're showing us different things at different times. We could see one scene from the future and then one scene from the past, as long as it's thematically connected in the particular hour that they're showing us. So this is something we should have swallowed from the very beginning when Sam and Tracy had their moment in episode 1, and then in episode 2, Coop ends up in the glass box, and we are reliving the past of what Sam and Tracy had already done. This was like foreshadowing and telling us, guess what, we're not going to show you everything in a linear fashion.
that probably didn't happen yet.
But we didn't realize that was really going on. Everything seemed to be moving along.
And jump
Nice
2 more
progress.
episodes, episode 13, this
Oh, yeah.
past Sunday.
When everyone realized, wait a minute,
Yeah.
you guys found the information tonight? No, you found the information in part 9. So now everybody's realizing, yeah, we've been stuck on Thursday, September 9th since part 9.
We keep looping back like that punch in the black and white video at Sarah's house. We keep looping back.
It's been 5 weeks.
So if you look at the Bobby storyline, he was at the diner.
Right? He wasn't around with Hawk and Frank looking at the map. He was actually at the diner
With Big Ed
with Big
the
Ed
night they were
Norman.
looking at the maps. Shelley's daughter wanted to come to the diner, or Shelley invited her daughter to come to the diner and eat pie.
Right.
And
She was worried. Stephen hadn't been home in 2 days, and Becky was crying.
now she doesn't have a car to go to the diner, right?
No, apparently she had a car.
Because I'm thinking this is before she found where Stephen was, and then called her
Exactly.
mom, come get me, and then stole the car, and then
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she got a ride with Carl or Rod or something, right?
Oh.
But she went to the Double R to eat cherry pie with her mom, and we think that what we've already seen, her getting the phone call and realizing where Stephen was, that we've seen that already, but that really hadn't happened yet from the perspective of this moment.
right.
Right. Stephen's been missing for 2 days. Becky goes to the diner. It's only later that she finds out where Stephen is and then goes after him.
It felt like
It had to
really-
be that way.
It really felt like when Bobby was in the street with the vomiting exorcist girl, and that it really felt like they were going the next day, like the shit was hitting the fan.
Yeah.
And then to realize we were, was it later on we found out we're still 2 days away. It just didn't feel right. But now it's starting to feel like Hawk went to Sarah's house the day before, which would be Friday. So,
Yeah.
so what we saw with Sarah was her running out of vodka.
Yeah, this episode we saw running out of vodka, which is probably Thursday.
And she went to the store the next day, Friday, and her groceries got delivered to her maybe when Hawk showed up, which looks like it's, who knows, in Washington State. That could be early in the morning, it could be noon, that could be 4
Right,
in the
it's always
afternoon.
dark. But the vodka Sarah had on her table was not the vodka she bought at the store. Different brand
Or
altogether.
the Bloody Mary mix, I think.
And all of the vodka bottles there were empty. So she definitely had to go do some shopping. Now, everyone in the community's caught up. We all realize that things are being presented in a different way. It just seems funny that it took this moment for Bobby. I would, I might not have caught it being distracted with Big Ed, but we've had so many of these beloved characters come in so late and in such odd ways, like just, hey, by the way, here's Audrey, and oh, by the way, here's Big Ed. It works to a degree. At first, I thought maybe Big Ed's with Norma.
Fan service.
No, if they truly wanted to do fan service, they would turn the reins over to Mark Frost, let him hire Harley Payton and Robert Ingalls to write every episode, and Leslie Lincoln Glatter and Tina Rathmore and a few other people could direct, right?
Well, just like these episodes, except for bits and pieces, the odd numbers would be good and the even numbers would be bad, and you can do that crap in season 4. No.
Yeah, so
Just kidding.
we're all caught up. Everyone knows we're jumping around, and we've been jumping around for a while. I have a feeling that we're going to all start to fall into Friday
Well,
in the next couple episodes, and then we'll finally hit Saturday The first.
I'll take you back to one, and this is one that I just started thinking about now. Episode 1, Log Lady says something to do with your heritage. You're going to find something. We don't see what that something is, the diary pages, until episode 6.
Is it 6?
No,
Well, that's when he finds. That's right.
That's when he finds
the
them.
pages.
I think he did that the next day. He found them the very next day.
Yeah.
Then he sits down with, this has all happened this day. He found the pages. He sat down with Truman. They looked at them. Truman called Harry, and then he called Doc Hayward. Then they went to Betty's house, all in the same day, to talk to Betty. And that was This Is a Chair, which is episode 9. So we've seen one day, in my opinion,
Throughout this whole thing.
yeah, you might be right about there's a body, because it's all the odd numbered ones.
Well, somebody out there has put all this together, and they've figured out when all the scenes coincide with the calendar days. So if anybody's got a link to that, you can put it in the comments down below.
Please.
I'd be interested in seeing it, because we've got our own theories about it.
And shitty internet.
So those are thoughts we thought you didn't think of as far as the timeline goes. We're all caught up now. I wanted to talk about some things that I noticed in this past episode. Did you notice the lipstick on Dougie's cheek? He had 2 kiss marks from the Pink Ladies during their night out. I thought that was hilarious.
The Pink Lady.
The stimulation that Dougie got on that evening. I thought he was very, very lucid in the last episode. I thought he had it going on. Still, he slammed into a glass door. He still hadn't figured out how to open a door yet. But, oh man. And then when Candy presented the presents, she was laughing and giggling so much, it was like she had a great time being around Dougie too. And Bushnell kind of flirted with her, and I thought that was indicative of Lynch and older men around women. He was so pleased to see her.
I want to see Bushnell and Candy and Dougie Coop in a car heading to Twin Peaks, and we'll call it Twin Peaks Preacher. This is kind of what they're doing in Preacher.
That little conga line that they were doing, we thought it was perhaps a Badalamenti song that they had sped up. Well, there is a drum beat in there, and I'm assuming that has something to do with the previous music from the series. But the sounds did sound a lot like casino winnings, slot machine sounds, and stuff like that.
Silver Mustang conga theme.
Yeah, we want to get that on the album. I hope they put it on there, right? Just don't let it last 8 minutes, okay? You know, a minute and a half would be just fine. Probably too much. I noticed a couple of people realized that Dougie was at home playing baseball when this episode we see them coming back from the night before. So when did he have time to go home and play baseball with Sonny Jim? See, that was one of the examples of we're being shown things at different times. The gym set isn't set up yet in the backyard. They're playing baseball, and then Dougie goes out after that and almost gets killed in the desert and is saved by the pie, the magical pie. Did you notice that big old monitor in western Montana when the guys were watching what was going on with Mr. C and Ray? There's this huge wall-sized monitor that they're watching, and the camera angles changed, much like a cheesy 70s show. It just happened to change and show you exactly what you needed to see. I mean, that was obviously paying homage to old 70s TV, I think. I mean, Lynch knows better that cameras don't operate that way.
I keep looking over at your page. I didn't write anything down.
You don't look at my page. You can't read what I got here. This is all code. Just you can't read it. It says take the money. What does take the money mean to you? Take the money. See?
Mm.
It's only from my brain. When Ray was getting interrogated with Mr. C in the room, and Mr. C asked Ray, "Who hired you to kill me?" Ray didn't say it was a man named Philip Jeffries. Ray said it came through a man named Philip Jeffries, or at least that's what he says. His name is. It came through a man, like somebody was pulling Jeffries' strings. And then when we're presented the Owl Cave ring, and we know Mike's in control of that, I gotta assume that it's the one-armed man. He's helping Dougie any way he can, and he's helping Philip Jeffries get things accomplished too, and he probably helped Major Briggs. So I'm interested in seeing this confrontation. I wonder if we're going to see Philip Gerard at all. He's credited as Philip Gerard, but he's been in the Black Room the whole time, the Red Room, so Black Lodge. Nothing to say on that. Oh boy. The whole time the interrogation was going on and the arm wrestling before that, that was still Nightlife in Twin Peaks. The music playing. Yeah, it was just pieces of the instrumentation missing, but I've heard that song 100,000 times, so
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was definitely Nightlife in Twin Peaks. They had played it before when Tony was making the call to Duncan Todd. And they were playing it during that scene too. I wrote down "take the money" because the farm accountant said, "Do you need any money?" And Mr. C said no. Now, this tells me he's got more money than he knows what to do with, so he is the billionaire and he owns the glass freaking box. That's what it tells me. Mr. C's rich. Because if you just became the boss and an organization offered you money, why wouldn't you take it? Yeah, I'll take all of it. Thank you. Take the money. He's got to be rich.
De Monet.
Or maybe he just will kill for whatever he wants.
Or maybe he knows he's not going to be around in a couple of days, and why would you need all kind of money if you plan on rowing your boat out in the middle of the lake with some tequila and some Bach?
You could donate the money. I had predicted earlier that the Mitchum brothers would donate some of their winnings. I thought that would be a way to show that they were charitable. It's not just their connection to the orphanage and the fact that they're taking care of the Pink Ladies. I thought for sure they were going to donate money. I thought it would go to a charity or an orphanage or something like that, but instead it went to Bushnell in the form of gifts, and then he got Dougie a car too, and the gym set. So they are being charitable. So this is a good sign. The Mitchum brothers are good. Maybe they were just jerks before because they really did get screwed out of $30 million. Right? I like the Mitchum brothers. I hope this is the last we see of them. I want them to...
It'll be episode 18 when we see a nursery get a check. They'll wrap everything up in a nice little bow, like the car.
And Ray said something, and we didn't mention it in our review. Ray told Mr. C, "I know who you are." Who are you? Who are you really?
I know who you are.
So perhaps he was telling Mr. C, "I know who you are. You're that FBI agent." Or, "I know who you are. You're a doppelganger of an FBI agent." Or, "I know who you are. You're the host for Killer Bob."
That's what I think.
He might not even be a host anymore, though.
Why not? Maybe.
Notice when Ray saw all the woodsmen gathering around that he was disturbed because he saw what was happening, but that he didn't get up and run away or anything. He just kind of laid there and watched it. Proves my point that Diane is innocent. Okay. Nobody does anything when the woodsmen are around. Right? It just looked like, what's going on? When Bob's bubble came out and Ray saw Bob, That's when Ray started moaning. That's when Ray got up and booked it to his car and took off. And we still don't know if Bob has been removed or if he's in the doppelganger. We have no idea. But that must be what Ray was talking about when he said Philip Jeffries and that they want something that's inside of you. It must be Bob or the Gorman Bozia.
Or maybe when Richard and Evil Cooper in the same room, that wasn't after Richard left Twin Peaks. That was before he ran over the kid and everything. So Bob has been with him the whole time, just like I first suggested in episode 5 when we met him. I thought, if anything, he's Evil Coop and Bob's kid, so he's not going to remember stuff he did. So when he ran over the kid, I felt sorry for this guy, like Leland. If you can feel sorry for Leland after Fire Walk with Me, you can feel sorry for Richard for not knowing what he's doing half the time. And if his mama's Audrey and she don't know who she is, this kid's screwed.
This kid may have had no parents.
Now, I really don't think we're seeing Richard before, you know, like this episode, he's not going to go meet Ray and then go assault Charlotte and run over a kid and everything. But
you never know.
It could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen.
It's just the way some things could have gone.
I believe Evil Coop could be in Twin Peaks right now, even though we just saw him at the farm.
Right.
I just believe
We're
that.
being shown several days before. But when we go back to Twin Peaks, there are some scenes where he's already there.
It was evident when the key came the next day after Jade mailed it. That to me was like, nothing would have taken 9 days. At the time, I thought maybe it was a 10-day discrepancy. But now I'm seeing that maybe it was just 2 or 3 days.
Well, maybe they get them keys as fast as possible. They went from Nevada to Washington.
Overnight shipping for free.
Lickety split. Yeah, overnight shipping. It's already paid for. Is it possible that there's a return address there that they can trace that back to
They should
Nevada?
be able to trace it back.
I mean, Hawk's going to end up, and the sheriff's going to end up with this key, or the sheriff's got the key.
But I still think the FBI is going to catch wind of the Fusco prints. That, yeah, if those prints popped up, the Fuscos might not care to investigate, but the FBI is going to get a hit that an agent of theirs that broke out of jail has been printed in Las Vegas. And then that's how you get there. So we're still going to get
And
there.
the FBI's looking for them. They're supposed to be looking for them.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be partying with French chicks.
They found out on the plane that they had Major Briggs sighting and that Cooper, who they just visited, escaped prison. So they chose the Major Briggs angle. And I'm trying to figure out when they're going to switch their focus and start going after Cooper. I mean, it's ultimately the answer to what they need.
You know why Albert said the Dakotas are still in the Ice Age?
Why?
It's because Constance gave him the cold shoulder. And she's dead right now. And he was talking to Gordon, and he's not feeling it. He just killed a chick. I'm just kidding. Thoughts we thought you wouldn't think of. Albert is Philip.
I like how Tony was talking about he couldn't sleep, that he was vomiting blood. And he said, even if I die in the process, he really wants to...
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, he really wants to tell the truth. He's tired of being a bad person.
I've been told I look like Tom Sizemore.
Me too.
That happened to you recently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it sucks. Now, Magnificent Seven and the stunt crew had just done a movie with Tom Sizemore in Alabama, and at least 3 of them came up to me and were like, "I actually thought you were him. You could be his like stand-in today." But you know, have to dye the hair and get some dandruff.
Yeah, get some dandruff so that Dougie can save your life. He saw right through me.
The sun's gonna go right through him, all right. It's probably gonna be a bullet.
Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, so Norma has franchised out. She's got 5 stores now, and 4 of them are going by the name Norma's Double R Diner. And Norma says in the scene to Walter, she didn't want to change the name of the flagship store because all the residents there know it as the Double R Cafe or the Double R Diner. And there's a sign big as shit that says Marty above the Double R Cafe sign. So we didn't hear a story about this. I guess it has something to do with the real cafe. The Marty wasn't going down no matter what, so they put a little Double R there and called it Double R. But when Frost came out with his book, The Secret History of Twin Peaks, he said that the original owner of the cafe was a man named Marty. And it was Marty's Railroad Cafe. And then
Next to the railroad.
it simply was known then as Marty's Double R Cafe. And I thought this would be a great opportunity for Norma to explain what Double R meant, even though we know there's tracks there. And we talked about a train a couple of episodes ago. Would have been better than that woman laying on her damn horn.
But are there 4 other locations around railroad tracks?
Well, he said the whole region had been affected economically, which made me think, first I thought Twin Peaks. The mill burned down and everybody's having a hard time. But then when he said region, it kind of just made me think, okay, the whole Northwest in general. So I'm assuming they're all in Washington. Maybe there's one in Montana. They're on the border, apparently.
Ooh. There's one in Deer Meadow.
Maybe there's one in Missoula.
What was that other one in Montana?
Oh, Hungry Horse.
Hungry Horse.
There's probably one in Hungry Horse and one in Missoula.
Marty. Marty.
Selling those bad pies with the ingredients that you don't want. When Norma says organic, natural, local, she's talking about, getting the best for the people. We noticed the black corn in the map, and we were talking about how the soil is spoiled, but I think it's really just the people that live there. It's not like the trees that grow are gonna grow poison.
Yeah.
I think it's just the
fertility is more the womb.
Or, otherwise, why would the pies be so damn good, like you were saying?
And if Norma's Double R shipped pies to different locations like Simon's and they would use the correct ingredients, maybe Coop would be Coop right now.
Right.
Instead of eating great pie, or so damn good pie, but not great pie.
He could have took a bite and
Epic pie.
He could have took a bite and looked up at the Simon's sign and said, "That's not where pies go when they die. They go to Twin Peaks."
Bing.
It's not going to happen that way. Dougie is not going to snap out of it. That's another thought that we thought you didn't think of. We've got Dougie, full-blown Dougie. I don't think we're going to see Cooper until the last episode.
After episode 5, Case Files, people were sick of Dougie.
Mm-hmm. And I was just starting to fall in love with him.
And Don't Die was when, 4 people died that episode.
He was great.
Oh yeah, people were. I think after episode 8 got light, that's when people were like, "Okay, it's gonna happen, so I'm good. Give it a little bit." But I think everyone's resided to the fact that it ain't happening.
Yeah. I mean, at the earliest, I would say episode 15.
Yeah,
I don't even think so.
he'll be around
Maybe
16.
Maybe he'll change in 16 and we'll have him for the 2-hour finale. A lot of people are dismissing Dr. Amp. And they think that what he's spouting off is crazy. And, there's a political side to me that wants everyone to realize that what Dr. Amp is saying is true, that corporations are ruining everything for regular people. And we get the indication of that with the pie talk with Norma and Walter, too. But we finally have a scene with Dr. Jacoby not being Dr. Amp and not painting shovels. And in the secret history of Twin Peaks, he is attracted to Nadine, so there is a nice scene there between them two, and I think maybe some people might like him a little more now if he's not spouting off, if he might actually swoop in and take Nadine, which would open the door for Ed and Norma. You guys should have been paying attention to Dr. M from the beginning.
We're recruiting foot soldiers right now.
Mm-hmm.
We need Nadine and Ed on the same team because both of them are fighters. They got to come with us. No time for lovey-dovey stuff right now.
If Bobby and Big Ed can make up, come on, let's get the show on the road. I like how she said, I'm your most loyal foot soldier or shoveler.
That's a serious question. If I ever made a Q&A panel, it's a serious question to ask. Can we get one of those shovels? It's not a joke. This is not a joke. People really want to buy those shovels. You need to really make them available, not that address on the screen that we see. We need a real number to call.
You buy a shovel, you buy a can of gold spray paint.
Does anybody have the handle goldshitdiggingshovels.com?
Nadine is happy and content in this world of Twin Peaks that's going to all hell. She's very happy and very content, and she has a shovel, and she is digging her way out of the shit and into the truth, and she's drinking those smoothies.
Yeah.
She's not eating the turkey jerky. Speaking of bad food, everybody saw that plate of yellow stuff in Sarah Palmer's house and thinks that it's green corn. Well, I eat cream corn all the time in my life. And it doesn't pile up like that. So that's not cream corn. It looks more like mac and cheese to me. I paused the screen, and even my wife, who could care less about Twin Peaks, she looked at the screen and I said, is that cream corn? She said, looks like mac and cheese to me. So it's mac and cheese. What do you think it is?
Mac and cheese.
It's not Gorman Bozia, although there is every reason for that to be Gorman Bozia in that scene.
I need to see it with a better lit television, because I just want to stare at everything all the time, that entire scene.
Right.
And I've heard about shadows following her reflection out the glass,
that her reflection wasn't matching up with her.
The mirrors look like an owl when you really look at it. It's two eyes and then like a bridge of a nose is the middle mirror. If you look at
I watched this last episode 6 times. I didn't even notice that.
But the stuff in the background, it's like a little.
You can see the outside light shining and it's coming back inside.
Is that one of the? See, it's shooting. My TV's too dark.
It's a very strange.
And there's like a doll on the couch or something. It looks like something laid over.
And Laura Flynn Boyle made an appearance. She's in a photo in that scene.
It looks like a photo I stole off the internet one time, but zoomed in. They were skiing. It was
steal anything.
Oh, borrowed.
and there were also 2 other pictures that were probably Laura.
Fair use.
And the little bunnies. We saw the little bunnies from the first season, second season. Pretty sure.
Yeah, there was more on this side. Who didn't get to see them too well.
Yeah, and then everybody also noticed a glitch in Ed's reflection at the end when the credits were rolling. Big Ed has a reflection looking back at him, and it looks like there's a little glitch. It goes down or something. Ed actually looks like he notices it before they even show it happen, and he looks like he's trying to contend with it mentally afterwards.
Yeah, he does this like he's looking, and then the next shot, you see the cup on the table, and you see the spoon sticking out of the cup in front of him. But his reflection, he's holding the cup. And I don't know if he's smiling or what he's doing, but then the cup just goes chunk and hits the ground. So it goes from his hand to on the table. It like that. It glitches it. It's solid white down here after. So if it's a glitch, it glitched his cup, and he was holding the cup to begin with, which he never was the entire scene.
Now you saw that on your dark screen? I didn't see it.
Yeah, because on this angle, at that angle, I could see it.
Oh, wow. So
I'm going to do that with the shadow thing, too, but I didn't get to do it today.
So if this is an instance of, okay, he just saw a reflection of something that just happened in the past, he was holding the cup or he was about to hold the cup, and we're getting little glitch in time. This all goes back to the American Girls Watch saying Saturday the 1st, and that Cooper hadn't actually left yet. When he left and went in the Dougie, he entered into the past, and he's been living all these days leading up to this day and affecting it, kind of like when you're not supposed to step on a flower when you go back in time, otherwise you'll screw everything up. Just screwing everything up.
Lord knows what Sarah's doing, tromping around in that 1 second of her life that she keeps living over and over and over again.
The gentleman asked if he's okay. It was kind of like, it was not like, hello Johnny, how are you today?
It is important to know that Sarah saying it's a goddamn bad story, and then Hawk, to me it's important knowing that Hawk is leaving the next day to go do what he's got to do, wherever that is. To me, I think that it's going to be fresh on his mind, even though we might not see Hawk, we might not see that again. It's just now that I know the timeline is so screwed that we're seeing Sarah's past now, and we just got to see her again, and we got to see the middle and end and beginning of her day.
And when Hawk is heading toward Glastonbury Grove in part 2, we possibly haven't seen that yet.
With the flashlight.
And talking to the log lady. He may have.
That's when she invites him over for pie. But it's like the end result. You get come over for pie. Because she never invited him over for cookies and whatever it was. She never did it with the other phone calls.
She did call and ask if he found anything. And her lawyer gave him a message. But that phone call was kind of like, where are you at? My log? And he's like, your log and me are on the same page. And everybody wondered if he went into the lodge or not at that point. And that's right when Laura showed up in the lodge. The next scene was Laura talking to Coop in the lodge. I thought Hawk was about to walk in, and instead it was Laura.
Yeah.
So, it's possible Hawks hadn't done this yet, and he's going to do it, in another episode.
And he's by himself, which scares the hell out of me.
Yeah,
when it comes to Frank and Bobby and anybody else that's supposed to be with him right now.
I think we're going to see Andy in this episode. I think we're finally going to see Andy again. We're going to have an Andy sighting. And maybe they'll introduce Monica Bellucci.
Forgot about her.
Yeah, she's the last big name besides Eddie Vedder that I can think of. But Eddie Vedder's probably going to play the Roadhouse. Can he possibly follow up James Hurley?
Which episode would that be? There's some fear in letting go, running out of sand. The name of the song is Running Out of Sand. So that would seem to be the one. We're not going to have Cooper back. Running Out of Sand. Yeah. That one should have been played in episode 6.
Yeah, we've been running out of sand since episode 5 and 6. Oh, man.
Running Out of Sand on you, Coop. Season 4.
So, I thought about that we should talk about Audrey. This is probably the most talked about subject, besides the realization that time is kooky. But we could probably talk about Audrey for an hour and get nowhere.
Nowhere.
So, we've got what we've got so far, and I'm going to let them keep presenting more, because right now, I could say yes to 6 different theories.
Yep.
I want to believe that reality is connected in some way. I want to believe that Billy is the farmer and the truck was really stolen, and Richard is her son, and she's not in a coma, and she's not in the hospital.
She made it from one room to another, but she took her jacket off.
That's right. She took her jacket off.
But was she going deeper into where she was, or heading closer to the door, or was she getting further in, like further away from the door? Whether it's a coma or a mental hospital or a mental disorder, none of it really matters as far as like paying attention to the little stories and stuff. It's just going to be another puzzle we got to figure out. It's like if she...
You need to get on with it.
She's going to make it to the door by episode...
Oh, come on. Really? This is all going to be the same night? I just want to know if it's reality, if she's actually going to meet an actual person named Billy at the Roadhouse. I mean, is she having an affair? If she can't leave, how is she having an affair? Is all this in her mind? If this is her dream, let's get it over with so I can know what reality is. This can't be her dream. This has to be Coop's dream.
You're thinking she's dreaming the whole goddamn show.
Right.
It's not the whole show. It's
Okay.
just what we see as her dream.
God.
She's dreaming just
Then-
her scene.
Okay, so that makes her scenes even more irrelevant. If that's the case, if that ends up being the case, then it has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
See, we could talk about Audrey forever. We're not going to get anywhere with this.
There's no way to go. Up her skirt. I don't know where else to go with Audrey. Do something.
I think that
Shelly, one more button down, baby.
Oh God! I think that Audrey is really married to Charlie, and he is a psychiatrist and a scientist, and he's working on the box. Okay.
And Audrey is his existential connection that he uses in her coma to talk to him about shit happening in other places of the world. Like what's going on in Twin Peaks. But all the time she's in the next room next to the glass box.
It's like Dreamscape, or like Dr. X, right? Is that his name? Professor Xavier, yes.
Dr. X. So many doctors in this show.
Professor
We got 2 Clarks now.
So that's all we've got for thoughts we thought you didn't think of.
Oh, what color do you think it's going to be next week? Rancho Rosa.
Okay, so we have to make our predictions. Oh man,
I got my color picked already.
what you going with? You know, if you know, you say it. I don't know yet.
I said purple. I said purple earlier, and mauve, so I'm gonna. We might have had that already. You see, now that I'm looking at this shirt, because it was bright green, like not forest green, like the bottom of Ben's bike, but like lime green, the top part of the bike. So I'm thinking it's gonna be still green, but darker green, like more of a forest olive green.
That leaves purple wide open for me to
I'm
pick.
giving up purple.
I'm gonna go with gold.
Oh, there you go. Who dat? And who do you think's gonna say we are like
the dreamer. We are like the dreamer.
single?
We are like the dreamer.
All right, my pick.
Who do you think's gonna say we are like the dreamer?
Hawk. I'm just trying to get a base hit.
Well, I was leaning towards the log lady for this one. And then I started thinking perhaps Charlie or Dr. Jacoby. But I'm going to stick with the log lady. That's not a one, is it?
Mm-mm.
We are like the dreamer.
Hawk. We're like the dreamer.
Dark green gold. All right, that's it. We're done. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10. I'm Joe. I'm Jay. And he's gonna don't eat in front of the camera. That's just rude. That's just Chantal, please. What do you think about the Mormons?
Utah. Mormons.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Twin Peaks Twin Perspective. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10. Leave your comments, anything you want to say and contradict. And I will see you in the trees.
Woo-hoo.
Bye.